figure. Okay, well, we shall commence. I wanted to say thank you to everyone for being part of this first webinar of 2022. I'm Chris Redledge, Chief Development Officer at Friendship Place here, and we do these. We've been doing these since the beginning of COVID, and it's just an opportunity for folks to learn about our programs, learn more about specific activities we undertake, really just to get an opportunity to talk to some of our team and our staff members. And we have a great number of folks here today who are going to help us learn about Valley Place, which is our brand new program, which is very exciting. I'm going to ask everyone who's not speaking to please mute, and if not, I'll go through and click and mute everyone just to be safe, except those who are going to take part. And I'm going to name 4 people and then let them introduce themselves very quickly, and then I'll turn to Jean-Michel to maybe get us started, and then we can go through some of the folks on hand to talk about Valley Place. So Jean-Michel, you all well know, our president and CEO. We also have with us Shawna Figueroa, who is our division director, Alma Joyner, our assistant director, Tia Childs, who's case management supervisor. And what I would like to do right now is maybe take a moment for each one to introduce themselves, just say a few words, and then we'll get started maybe with Jean-Michel giving the high level about how we came to run Valley Place, and then the others to talk about what they do every day and what they see. So Jean-Michel, let's start with the introduction. Jean-Michel, would you like to say just a word to say hello?
Yes, well, hello, everybody, and thanks for being online with us for this first webinar of a new series that we're starting. We took a break during the fall, as you know. It's great to have you online, and I want to thank all the donors, board members, volunteers, and staff who have joined us today. Happy New Year, and over to Shawna, so you can introduce yourself, Shawna.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting me, and it's a pleasure to be here. I'm Shawna Figueroa, the newly appointed division director. I started with with Friendship Place in December 1st of 2021. Got to get 2021 out of my head, right? So I come all the way from Connecticut, where I have been a social worker for over 20 years, and I have been very excited to be a part of Friendship Place and the uptaking of this wonderful new program at Valley Place. I don't know what else to say about myself. I'll just say that everybody has been very welcoming, and Friendship Place, as I'm sure most of you on the call know, either because you're staff, donors, or friends of or board members, Friendship Place is a wonderful place to work. I have had the delight to meet and talk with most of the executive team, and I'll welcome specific comments about Valley Place in a little bit, but I just wanted to share a little bit about myself. I guess that's it. I'm rambling. So
no worries.
So I'll maybe turn it over to the assistant director, Alma Joyner, to say a few words about herself.
Good morning. I will not sing again. Welcome to all. I've already given a wonderful rendition of good morning to you. I am Alma Joyner, the assistant director here at Valley Place. I have been with Friendship Place since March the 30th, 2019, a whole whopping almost 2 years. I'll be going into my second year on March the 30th. I come to you from rapid rehousing. I did that for about 3 years, and that is a brand of case management that is interesting. I'll say that and leave it right there. I am super excited about being given the opportunity to assist in spearheading our bridge housing program. I love the work. And I'll say this, I heard Steve Harvey say this. He said, every job that I had that did not fit me, I either got fired or I left. So this, you might say that I'm a glutton for punishment. So every time I try to leave this profession, something happens to draw me back in. So I love the work. I love the work that we're doing here. And I'm looking forward to great things for our bridge housing program. I'll pass it off to our case manager, supervisor, Ms. Tia Chow.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tia Childs. I've been at Friendship Place since December the 3rd of 2019, and I transferred over to Bridge Housing on November the 22nd when we opened. And I have been doing this work for the last 12 years, so I'm so excited to be here at Valley Place. I love my job and I love our participants. So any questions I welcome. Thank you.
Well, thank you. So Jean-Michel, why don't you get us started and talk a little bit about how this all came to be?
Yes, well, we're very excited to be running Friendship Valley Place. And this came, of course, in partnership with the city, with DHS. The city reached out to us and offered us to run this program based on specific qualifications that we had. It's one of the city rules with permanent supportive housing, certainly short-term housing, and then street outreach. Valley Place is a new model. It's bridge housing. You've heard it this morning already. It is designed to bring people from street homelessness and other forms of homelessness into permanent supportive housing, so into their own apartments in 90 days. So it's a short-term and a bridge housing facility. A new model for the city, which is really exciting for us to be able to craft this model based on our knowledge of the field, on our practices that we bring to the table, working with DHS and with a Community of Hope, another provider that was selected to run a similar facility on Giraud Street in Columbia Heights. So the two teams have been working together, which is also very interesting. We started from the beginning at Valley Place, building the model, crafting it, in having all these pieces that we like at Friendship Place, being person-centric, being empowering, being mindful of the time we spend with residents so that the exchanges can be productive and help people achieve results and find solutions to their homelessness. One of the features that's really neat about Friendship Place, about Valley Place, I keep saying, sorry, is, is that it is co-ed. And so for the first time, men and women can come into a short-term housing facility where actually in the system in DC at large and in other cities as well, men and women tend to be separated to enter short-term housing facilities, also known, of course, as shelters. In this case, men and women are admitted together, and that includes couples for the first time, which is also very good because many couples before have had to face a hard decision to separate, to go into a shelter. And in this case at Valley Place, they don't have to do that. Valley Place is also very important for us strategically. We had just completed our strategic plan and started to implement it in January of 2020, when the city reached out to us during the summer. One of the features of this plan, which is an important one to us, is that we felt that we needed more of a presence east of the river. Now, we do a lot of work east of the river and have for quite some time, street outreach for youth funded by DHS, and also supporting singles and families in their own apartments in wards 7 and 8. But we wanted the possibility to be more visible, and certainly Valley Place, which is on Valley Place, very close to Frederick Douglass's house, on the hillside up from the commercial section of Anacostia, gives us this possibility. The building, I have to say, has been completely refurbished at quite an expense by the city. It's a wonderful facility. The apartments are brand new inside. The staff area is very attractive and very conducive to doing some great teamwork. So we are very thankful to have been entrusted to do this work with the city, to expand on what we do at Friendship Place. When you think about bridge housing also, this is a wonderful way to bring singles into permanent supportive housing, which was missing before. We had it at the city level in places like the Brooks, where this was happening and done with quality, which is so important, and dignity for people. But this option was missing in the system for single adults. Now it's there. And I really want to commend the team at DHS under Laura Zeilinger and the mayor for everything they are doing to really invest, not only in building the system on the family side, where we're doing some excellent work now, but also to now focus on the single side. That was also in our plan, the strategic plan, to focus on the advocacy for singles, because we knew that through the years, the single side was falling behind and we needed these new service options. So all in all, this is very exciting for us, as you will hear from our wonderful team. We assembled a team in record time, 3 to 4 weeks. We opened the program on November 22nd. You'll hear all about the things that went into it, but we are very, very excited to have this team on board under the great leadership of Shawna Figueroa, who, as you heard, came to us from all the way from Connecticut. So this is great. I'm gonna stop here because I know you'll have some questions after you hear a little bit more from each team member. Alma and Tia will also share, but over to you now, Shawna, to describe the day-to-day at Valley Place and all that goes into these wonderful operations there.
Well, Jean-Michel, you did quite a job in explaining it already, but thank you. And so what I want to be transparent in saying is that a lot of the work that is being done is not being done by the division director. A lot of the work is being done by the case management supervisor and her team of case managers. The assistant director, Alma Joyner, is working tirelessly to make sure that the operations and that we get what we need to run the facility in a way that is I want to highlight what Jean-Michel said, that it is with dignity, with quality and respect for this very vulnerable population. So while I would love to say a lot of this work I'm doing, I'm not. But what I would say is that what we are able to do at Valley Place, which whether it's Connecticut, DC, or any other city where homelessness and home insecurity is a problem, we are able to get people in at record time. Tia and her team, once a person is identified, we will take an intake from morning to up to 10 o'clock at night. We want to help people get off the streets and be warm and safe in record time. Her team is we welcome them. We welcome the case managers and the staff that are working with these individuals at times to come in. We are very much a friendly environment where we're going to start with asking them if they would like something to drink and to sit and just relax, take a tour of the facility, see what the bedrooms and what the place will look like, and then make an informed decision. Because what we do know is people want to feel that where they're going is going to be safe for them. So the day-to-day operations really are about just being available and open to support those coming in. And for the participants that are already there, we have 15, I believe, Tia, or 16 people in place right now. We have a capacity to take up to 52 individuals and or couples. And so we have plenty of space still available. And we are an environment that wants to support independence, but also help to get them into permanent supportive housing. So yeah, I think that thus far, I wasn't there at the opening, but what I will tell you is that the team has really worked hard to make sure that individuals get what they need coming in. We provide them with their toiletries, clothing, the basic linen, linen, washcloths and towels, everything that they need to be comfortable. And Alma is making sure, with the help of Tia, that we have more than enough supplies and sizes for everyone who comes in. So yeah, it's been wonderful thus far.
Shawna, where you said that we're taking in folks from morning till 10 at night. Generally, where are folks coming from? How are they coming to us?
I'll allow Tia, who is kind of taking the lead on the intakes, kind of give us a little bit of information about where she's seeing the majority of the referrals that are coming in. So Tia, I'll defer to you for that question.
Okay, thank you, Shawna. Most of our individuals are coming from encampments and low barrier shelters around the city. We have received people from New York Avenue shelter, and also Harriet Tubman shelter. They were our first, yeah, and the encampments as well. So we've been receiving people from both from both shelters, and we can receive people from all over the city from different shelters. But right now we have the outreach teams who reach out to me through email and usually send me referrals.
Very good, thank you. I guess another question how I would have is it's intended for folks to be there up to 90 days at Valley Place before moving on to what have we seen thus far? Are we seeing that people are able to leave earlier than that? Is it too early in the process to really get a fix on that? What's the experience been?
I can answer that question. Right now, we have one resident that left us. He was here maybe 3 weeks, I think. And he left us and went into his own apartment. And he also was featured in the Washington Post. So he was with us for a few weeks. And now we're just working on with the other PSH providers to house our next people who will be leaving soon, which will be in scattered throughout the month of March. So right now the case management team is working with other providers and their case managers to house our current residents that are already here.
How do the residents generally spend their days while they're at Valley Place? What is a typical day for someone at Valley Place look like?
Oh, it depends on the individual. Some people have jobs that they go to, that they're employed by different organizations around the city. And then we have people who may stay in, they'll come see case management, and they'll work on their housing. So it just depends on what their schedule looks like for the day. Some people are connected with other providers, and they'll have their mental health case managers or other PSH providers to come in and meet with them.
Very good, thank you.
And we have community rooms. I'm sorry, I just wanted to add that for those individuals that aren't working and aren't meeting with case management throughout the day, within the facility, there are 2 community spaces where participants can go and watch television, have a snack. We encourage them when they're coming down for meals sometimes to sit in one of the community rooms and not, be in their independent, their units, because some of them really don't have the support or the family to call and talk to. So we will encourage them to be in the community rooms where they can maybe watch. I know sometimes one of our residents, participants in particular, likes football. So she'll come down on a Sunday and watch the football game and, talk with staff. So there are opportunities for our participants to engage with one another and not just be inside their individual apartments.
That interaction has to be very helpful. I would imagine that the opportunity of some social time. That's good. Alan, I saw your hand up, and then we have some questions in the chat, but I'll let you go first.
One is the individuals that we're helping at Valley Place, are they referred by the city, or are we able to go out and with outreach and bring people into the program. That's number one. Number two, I want to ask, what is the energy of the people who are coming into Valley Place? Are they ready to move through and keep right on going and not get comfortable? And just another one comment other than that, the first thing you said, Shawna, one of the first things you said is you let people come in and sit down and get comfortable and look around and stuff like that before we say, okay, let's do this, you know, and that's really important because it's a shock just to come inside, you know. So just to take that time to catch your breath. Thank you for that. And the two questions of whoever is in charge of those. Thank you.
I'll defer the first question to either Tia or Alma, but I would just like to say, as it relates to the energy of the participants coming in, I would say it's been my experience, and I'll let them talk a little bit, is that it varies, right? You have some that are very eager and excited about coming into a facility such as Valley Place. You know, having all new things can be quite intimidating to some people, right? It can feel like very foreign, too sterile, not. So we try to, you know, measure them where they're at, you know, ask questions, but again, allowing them the space that they need to feel what they need to feel. So allowing them to sit, look around, talk to people, you know, take a deep breath, have something to drink. But I would say that what it's been my experience that the energy varies, that, you know, you have some that are eager to get warm and get into a place because they know that this is the next is a temporary stop until they get to their permanent housing. And then you have some that are very much like, I don't know if I could do this, such as the gentleman that Tia referred to. And I would encourage everyone, if you can, maybe we could put it the link to his article in the chat. But when I tell you that gentleman went from, he did a 360 and about, and I would say he was there maybe 12 days. And it was so warm to see that when he came in there, he looked like he had probably 25 years older than his stated age. And when he left, he was clean shaven and showered and had on new clothes. Much credit to the Welcome Center because he was very much connected to them. And when he left, he looked like a new man and he was smiling and he was so happy and thankful. And I think what he said at the end is, I love you all and thank you. And he left. And it was so heartwarming to see. So I have great hopes in for what we'll see. But he was our first participant to come and to go, and we have some others that are on that trajectory. And as I will continue to say, you know, Tia and her team of case management and Alma's residential advocates are doing a wonderful job helping the individuals prepare for this transition through, you know, positive reinforcement, ongoing discussion with them about what it's going to be like to have their own place and to be able to maintain that. So that's just a little bit about the energy. And so I'll defer the first question you had to Tia or Alma to pick up, because I don't even remember what it was at this point, to be honest.
I can answer the question. I can answer it. I'm looking at in the chat. So let me start there first. One of the questions was explain the difference between the Brooks and Valley Place. Valley Place is strictly for individuals or couples with no littles, no children. It's a 90-day program. They stay with us for up to 90 days. It's opposed to the Brooks, which is a dorm style shelter. This is a apartment style. So in essence, our participants almost have all the luxuries of home. They have a full kitchen that they have access to and may not necessarily use at this point, but they do have access to it. So all the comfort of home, just think of all the things that you can do in your own space. They can do that here. I'm going to go down a little bit more. Do residents bring their own belongings? Yes. Because as I stated, it's an apartment style, so everybody has a room, and they may or may not at this point have a roommate or roommates. We have 54 beds, but at this point, I believe you had 15 participants.
I think we're gonna let Chris manage the chat.
Okay.
We were just gonna
Oh,
answer
okay.
Alan's question. Sorry. No, I just wanted to, I didn't want to get away from Alan's question because I don't think I answered the first part of it. So I'm
Okay,
sorry.
Alan, I'm sorry. What was your question? Those were questions that I saw pop up, but I didn't see any other ones. That was it.
I don't mind. I don't mind deferring to let someone else manage the chat. That's fine. But Alan, what was your first question again?
I'm going to change my other question because the more important one is security. That's my long-time background before I came to Friendship Place. And I'd like to know how you balance security there, providing safety without having the participants feel like they're in jail.
We have a security staff. So every time, they're pretty consistent during the day, but sometimes we receive different officers on the night shift, sometimes, but not all the time. But we just give them a run through of the program. We're a family. We do not call the police are the absolute last resort. We de-escalate. You're just here to secure the building, walk the floors, make sure all is well, secure the perimeter, all of those wonderful things. If we need the police or if we need your assistance, we reach out.
Okay.
Yes.
So they're not there to monitor the residents and stuff. Okay, okay,
No.
cool.
So because we are of the school of thought, and I think I can say that for myself and Shawna. We want them to be functioning adults. When everybody under the sound of my voice, when we go home, the police is not at our door, or the case manager supervisor is not at your door telling you what to do, right? So we want them to live, move, and breathe as functioning adults and citizens, because they're not going to be, they're not going to be monitored per se when they leave here.
Okay.
Thank
you very much.
We encourage people to use their words and not force, of course, because this is a living environment. We want people to be comfortable. And I'm hearing that we're doing so well that 2 of the guards have expressed interest in joining the Friendship Place team and coming on to operations. So this is really working.
That's a testament, yeah.
Actually, I interviewed one of the security staff for an advocate position. So we're hopeful. He's so awesome with de-escalating. We had an incident yesterday, and I was like, ooh, I need your strong muscles. Come stand right here. And he was able to, because I'm little, y'all. I'm only 5'2", and I ain't getting in between nobody, because guess what? I got babies and grandbabies to go home to, okay? So, moving right along. Meanwhile, back on the farm, the gentleman that we interviewed he's awesome. I say that. And I could not picture a better person on my advocate staff. So we're hopeful. We're just waiting for some things to clear.
That's wonderful. Thank you. I will go look in the chat here. So if folks are in another shelter, how do they qualify? Is there a qualification process to get into Valley Place? And similarly with encampments, how does one need to apply? How does it work?
I'll answer that question. How it works is that the person must have a SPDAT done. They must complete a SPDAT and be and ranked rapid rehousing or PSH. We would rather them be PSH, but we have taken rapid rehousing folks in also. They can come from the encampments, and they are usually connected to us from the outreach team. Pathways is one of the outreach teams that also with the Welcome Center outreach teams, they have been very instrumental in bringing in folks. So yes, you have to have a SPDAT first, and you have to be connected to a provider. When it comes to a couple, some of the couples, one person will be connected to PSH. Please hold on, I'm so sorry.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tia's, looks like Tia handled it, okay.
Yes, I'm sorry guys. We just had a resident to come and ask us to do something. But yes, that's how they come in. Everyone, when it comes to the couples, one person will have a PSH referral, and that's how they come in. But both of our couples, that has been at least one person has been connected to a provider.
Very good. Thank you. Another question then in the chat was, is there a sufficient supply of PSH for people who are going to need it? And this is citywide, I guess.
I'm not sure if I can answer that. I think we need that question to be, I guess we need that question to be more detailed, but
Yeah.
I would say that we do need more PSH providers in the city, but it just depends on what happens during the CAP meetings. So people have to be matched during the CAP meetings for people to come in to be connected to a provider. So during the CAP meetings, when they have them, I believe they're once a month for individuals. Once they have those CAP meetings and they connect each person to the provider that they will go to. So some of our people are connected to Friendship Place, and some of our people are connected to Wheeler Creek and some of the other PSH providers across the city, like Catholic Charities also. So they don't have to be connected to Friendship Place to come into Valley Place.
Great, thank you. Do the residents at Valley Place get prioritized and expedited into the PSH? I mean, where do they fall on any wait lists? Not sure who's best to take that.
Can you repeat the question, Chris? I'm sorry.
Sure, no worries. Do residents at Valley Place get prioritized and expedited housing from the city? Do they get prioritized to go into PSH or as opposed to other folks?
No, when they come, they're already in PSH or rapid rehousing, so they already have a provider. Some of our earlier residents that came from Harriet Tubman or maybe New York Avenue, they need PSH providers. So I've had to contact DHS about connecting them. So we're just waiting for them to be connected, but most of them have already been connected. I think we have 3 residents that haven't. So I've been working tirelessly with our managers and making sure that we let DHS know that they need their PSH providers. But while we're waiting, we're not waiting as a case management team. So when they get their provider, once they're connected to their PSH provider, they will be given their LRSP application, which has already been completed by the case managers here. And so that will cut down some of the time that they will spend collecting, their vital documents. We'll make sure they have their vital documents and basically that their applications are done. So when they transfer over to their PSH permanent provider, we can just say, oh, we've done this for you. You can just submit this to DCHA, and then, you know, it'll cut down some of the time of them having to do the application with them, because we're here on site to do that, to do those things with them.
Great, thank you. We have a question in the chat. Do residents bring in their own belongings, and what do you do in terms of storage for folks' belongings? Is there some sort of limit in terms of how much people can bring in?
No, they normally have, you know, all of their personal belongings on them. They're normally carrying. So during the intake process, once we bring them in, as we said earlier, have them sit down, offer them something to drink, and during that time, their belongings are put in the hot box. And then they remove them, take them up to their apartment, because all of them have, it's apartment style, so there are closets throughout the unit. Depending on the size of the unit, some of the closets, I believe the 3 bedrooms have 2 in each unit. The bigger bedroom has 2 in each unit. There's a closet in the hallway, 1 or 2 closets in the hallway, but that are for storage space.
We haven't run into an instance where there wasn't enough space for anything that a participant has come in with. And because, like, as Alma said, the closets are very large and there's ample space throughout the apartment. There's linen closets. It is a complete apartment. So we haven't had that instance, and we do have additional places within the building that if we needed to support someone with, housing some of their things, we could help them and accommodate them with that. But at this point, we haven't run into, I don't believe, Alma, an instance where someone had more stuff than they honestly, unfortunately, but that they could carry, right? So it's again something that speaks to where they are in life and their need for support. But I will tell you, when they leave, they have a lot more stuff. Like when our participant left, he had a mop and a broom and all the things he needed for his new place. And again, which made him very happy and excited because you know, it's a sense of belonging. It's a sense of feeling like I have things, that I'm ready. I will say that right now, the apartments, we're working on getting all of the apartments outfitted with pots and pans and dishes and utensils, because we hadn't had that at the beginning. But I believe that there were people that were willing to donate some of that for us. And so the idea is that people will be able to, you know, prepare their own meals and have another additional level of independence when they don't maybe want to eat the meals that are provided through our food distributor, which is, I'm gonna mess the name of it up. So Tia or Alma, help me out.
Henry's.
Henry's. I was going to say Kevin's. I couldn't get it right. But Henry's that provides.
It's okay. They're not on the call. It's okay.
I
They can't be
apologize.
insulted.
But yes, and I'm going to chalk it up to my newness to the area, but they do provide, and Henry's provides a great amount, you know, over the amount of food. And so yes, please don't take offense to it, but yes. But some people want to be able to cook their own meals, and it's an additional sense of belonging and feeling like I am, and it's helped prepare, you know, Tia, Alma, and I were talking about, that's another added skill that sometimes people maybe lose or forget. So having the ability to be able to say, I want to cook my mom's old recipe, or I want to try this, is an additional skill that people have. So yeah, the apartments and I just want to say, I'll invite all of you at any particular time, just reach out to Tia, Alma, or myself. We'll be willing to provide you with a tour of the building. And you can see exactly what we're talking about firsthand. We would love to be able to showcase what we're talking about. So if you want to just come by and take a visit and meet some of the great security and staff and see what Jean-Michel described, we welcome that opportunity as well.
That's great. Thank you. Shawna, you had mentioned what people leave with in terms of things. I guess the question I want to get to is, what donations are helpful in terms of household items? Is this something you're accepting at this point?
Absolutely.
We love donations, and absolutely. And anything, like Alma had said before, anything
walk to the door.
you can think of for an apartment. So dishes, blankets, cleaning supplies, Clorox wipes, toothpaste, toothbrushes, anything that you think that you would need to be in a household, soap, deodorant. We would accept all types of donations. We're not picky by no means. It doesn't have to be Secret deodorant or Dawn dish detergent. It can be whatever you
We'll
want.
take anything.
So absolutely, we welcome and appreciate any donations that you would like to provide to us. And we have, again, ample storage to accept those things, and it's very much appreciated.
Shawna, how are you getting those things? I mean, can they be sent directly to you? Is there a wish list? I mean, how do we?
We don't have a wish list up yet, but what I will say is not for Valley Place itself, but we will work with the donations teams with that. I know that I believe it's Chris Kennedy, who is in charge of donations. So you can reach out to him, or you can contact myself or Alma directly, and we can organize through Chris a way to get those donations, and or, you know, meet someone. listen, we'll be flexible. We'll make it happen.
And our operation is 24 hours a day. We've had, I think one of the last donations came at like 8 o'clock in the evening. We don't know where it came from, but we're grateful.
No, we do. It was a church.
Okay.
Coats, yeah, and we
Okay.
yeah. So yeah.
Well, yep, we can most definitely work on a wish list. We actually have wish lists for the Welcome Center and for
Yep.
the Brooks, so we could certainly work together on that. In fact, I'm going to drop in the chat. We have been gathering items around the MLK holiday, asking people to bring them here to Calvert on Thursday, and certainly we can be flexible on that. But I'm going to drop a link in the chat right now that people, it's less the household items and more food stuff for, and we've been targeting La Casa and Valley Place as part of that, but we'll work on a more direct wish list also that we can pull together here. So thank you. I'm going through the chat here. Let's see. One question came up around the encampments and those who are coming. Are people who are coming from the encampments to Valley Place coming voluntarily? Are they being displaced by encampment cleanups? How do we? What's the process that people are finding themselves leaving the encampments to coming to Valley Place?
Well, all services at Friendship Place are voluntary, accepted on a voluntary basis, of course. So people who come to us have chosen to come. There is a lot of controversy, I know, in the city about the encampments this year. But separate from that, people make the decisions to join us so that they can rebuild their lives. And over to the program team for more details on that.
Most of our people that have come in through the encampments have come in through the outreach teams and them calling to say, look, someone wants to come in, and then they come. We had one gentleman that came last week. He wanted to tour and then he wanted to come in. He did not want to make his decision right away. So we did a tour, we offered him some hot chocolate, he did his tour, and he was like, okay, I can do this. And so it's all, I think it's all about our interactions with everyone when they come in and how they see us as staff and how it's an independent program. Even though we're here to assist them, we are not treating them like they're in jail. We're not treating them like they must be confined to their own space. And we are welcoming to them. So some people come in with clothing. Some people have lost everything. And we're helping them to rebuild by what we have here through our orders, the staff, myself, Alma. We have stocked our storage room with temporary clothing until they're able to build upon their own wardrobes again.
Thank you. What about laundry facilities? What's available?
We have 24-hour laundry services. We have 3 wash machines and 3 dryers that they can use at any time. It's no certain time that they can wash their clothes. We have laundry detergent that, again, I want to shout out the people that are really making this happen. Alma makes sure that we have everything. So we have more than enough laundry detergent. We give it to them. We will help them, if they say they're very state-of-the-art technical wash machines and dryers, let me say. So I would had to do a little tutorial myself. But we have everything that they need, and we support them and help them if they need it. And they wash their clothes, they fold them, they dry them, they do whatever they need to do on their own. But yeah, so there's
just to piggyback off of what Shawna was saying, they have everything that we could do at home and all the luxuries and comforts of home they have here. I want that dryer. I want that washer. It's a beautiful GE front loader. I hate leaving my apartment to go do laundry. I want it. I'm jealous, just a little bit, not a whole lot. But I'll say this, they put the right person in charge of stuff. Because I'm the type of person that everything that I have at work, I like to have at home as well. So I think about, and I'm an only child, so I'm a little selfish in some areas. So I think about what would Alma want at home, right? So I want them to have that experience. I want them to know and pass this information on to their, the other homeless neighbors in our communities. Hey, go on over there to Friendship Place. They'll take good care of you. So I want them to know that once they step foot off of Valley Place into Valley Place, they have the comfort and the luxuries of home.
That's a great approach. That's very heartwarming. That I can imagine that the participants, the residents, must feel it from what I'm feeling just listening in on this call. So thank you.
And I just want to outline, we don't call, and it's something that I've had to, over the years, we change our language because it's important to kind of, when we call someone a participant, it means we're part of as opposed to a resident. And so just, I keep myself, we want to let them know that this is a group effort. You're not here because you have to be, as Jean-Michel highlighted, you're here because you want to be here, and we're here because we want you here. And so the approach that we take when they come in the door is the approach we take each and every day. And if and when we see that that's not happening, because we all can fall short at times. And we, as Alan said about, this kind of idea with security, I would be remiss if I said that it's all been a perfect science and there's been no hiccups along the way in the last 30 something days, but we talk it through. If a security guard, because of their training, is getting a little overzealous in their approach, we stop and we just say, hey, let's talk about this. Let's figure it out, because no one's neither right nor wrong, but we just want to make sure that we are supporting. So in every step of the way, from and inviting people to not know what they don't know, from whether or not they don't know how to use the washing machine, or they don't know how to maybe interact with someone. So we just really want to take that approach and make people feel like they are a part of and not here because of a deficit. And that's everyone. So yeah, so the way that we talk about the people that are there, they're participants, and we treat them like they're part of the process through every step. I hope that made sense. I feel like
that makes, thank you. No, that makes perfect sense, and that's and I think that is a very important approach, is that the words do matter. And I like that thought, that participants mean that they're participating and not being served, not a client, it's a participant working together. I think that's fantastic. So thank you. Scrolling through the chat here, Adam gives a shout out to Tia for a great help with the Pathway client. So round of applause for Tia there. Thank you. Margie asks, are we accepting clothing? I think what we'll do is sit down with Chris. Well, I'll let you answer, and then we'll talk, maybe we'll connect with Chris Kennedy and figure out a best approach, so that, put together a list of such things, but I'll let you all answer about the clothing.
I mean, we could use everything. And to be quite honest, we don't want to turn down or not take anything. What I would say, and Alma and Tia, please jump in, is that when we are we do need clothing and items like socks and underwears and t-shirts, but we want to, if people want to think about paying attention to those larger sizes at time, because oftentimes the people that are, not average size, get left out sometimes. So when you're thinking about possibly donating, if you could think about maybe getting some larger size items at times. But yes, I think that it's appropriate and cleaner if it goes through, the appropriate channels. And we can certainly sit down and kind of put together a wish list or a list of things that could be most helpful for us. But it's just a thought that sometimes the larger individuals get left out at times. Alan?
I just wanted to ask, one of the other questions about clothing in the chat was, are you accepting gently used, or do you want new things?
I don't really have an answer for that.
We
I mean,
new things.
Yes.
Typically,
Okay.
but if something has been gently used and presents well and has been dry cleaned, for instance, we could also use that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yes, the coats that came in were exactly as Jean-Michel described. Some were brand new, and then some you could tell had been maybe worn a few times. But again, speaking to the dignity and integrity of what we're giving to people, we don't want to just kind of, yeah.
I think
I asked that question because sometimes we do get things that, are beyond use. So I wanted to let everyone know exactly what we're looking for.
Thank you.
I mean, a good rule of thumb is always is if you wouldn't give it to a friend, then
yes.
that's
Yes.
One other question in the chat: do participants wear masks indoors? You had mentioned that we're encouraging participants, sorry, to to socialize. How are you handling COVID?
Masks in all common areas. We can't have them, can't require them to wear them in their individual apartments, but whenever they are in a common area, both staff and participants are masked at all times for the safety of everyone, vaccinated or otherwise.
Important. I jumped over a few questions, so let me go loop back a little bit. What is the typical furniture in a room? Do you need furniture at Valley Place? How does that work?
They have the units for the most part are completely furnished. They have beds, and what we realized when we opened the building is that some of those beds are trundle beds. So we had to pull mattresses out. They were blank. The beds were made with pillows, sheets, blankets, all of those wonderful things. Like I said before, our participants have the luxuries of a home when they step foot in the door. We provide them with linens, all of those wonderful things. Like I said earlier, think of all the things that you can do at home. When they step foot in this door, those are the things that they can do, because when they leave here, they're going to do those things.
So they don't need furniture coming in to Valley Place, but yeah, so they have couches, chairs, tables, all able, and they're the ones that are able to be wiped down for sanitary and cleanliness reasons, and for, you know, the obvious. So they're very nice, and so they have everything that they need. We're just working on the kitchen supplies and things like that. And so I wanted to mention back to what you said, you know, the gentleman we referred to before who left with the mop and the broom, we did replace it. So those are other items, because, you know, they want to take them to their apartments. He was super excited. And so he was like, I'm taking my mop and my broom. And so, you know, so those are other items that could also think about being donated. We have the very nice ones, I might say, the O-Cedar Swiffer mops that they can use with the refillable solution. So those are some of the things I would add, you know, the Swiffer wet jets and the brooms and dustpans. So just as a thought, because I don't foresee them. That's going to be something we're going to need to replenish quite often, is I guess what I'm saying.
Probably.
So we're laughing so hard. Tia and I and Shawna are laughing so hard because we did not know that he was the mom. Oh, and his case manager was seething mad. She was like, you didn't have to do that. So, but it's okay. I get them from the Family Dollar. And I want y'all to know that the people that stock at that Family Dollar are mad at me at least twice a week, because I come in and say, oh, just give me that. Thank you. One day I was like, oh, you gonna make me go to the back? Yes, absolutely, because Friendship Place is giving me money on them to buy moms. And I'm buying replacement moms as well. Please and thank you. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I think we have time for one more question. I want to give folks time to wrap up here. When do we think we might get towards capacity? We know we do still have room in the building right now. When do we think we might get more closer to full?
I'm not sure about that yet. We're just waiting. I know that the CAP meeting was supposed to happen I want to say a week or two ago. And as people are connected with PSH providers, they can recommend their clients here. And they can become a participant at Valley Place. So it just depends. Right now we have a number of beds available, and we have 16 participants at this time.
Okay. Well, here we are coming up close to 1. So thank you, everyone. This truly is impressive. It's inspiring to see the difference we're making in our participants' lives here. And so thank you. But I want to give maybe Shawna a chance to offer some closing thoughts, then Jean-Michel a chance to offer some closing thoughts.
Let's see, closing thoughts. I would just, excuse me, I would just say that, you know, the offer is longstanding, and please come and see exactly what we're talking about. Spend some time, take a tour, have some wonderful hot chocolate. I'm a coffee girl, so I'll drink coffee. But please, you are truly welcome. I would just say Valley Place is, as I said to Jean-Michel the other day, has an opportunity to be a gold standard in the way we do bridge housing. And it's been a wonderful opportunity to be a part of this start. It's been a great introduction into DC, and please feel free to reach out to me with any questions, thoughts, comments, suggestions you may have that could help enhance the lives of, you know, those in encountering homelessness. And we welcome and thank you for all your questions, participation, support, donations, thoughts, ideas, because I know we can't do this alone and we need everyone. So thank you, thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this webinar and to, not a webinar, well, I guess it is,
Sure.
and to be a part of this discussion. And just I want to say to Jean-Michel and Jean-Louis and to Tia and Alma, they've been great in this introduction into this wonderful this wonderful program. So, and Tia and Alma are truly working tirelessly to make sure that this has gone on prior to my arrival. So, and have been helpful in helping me understand the system. So it was a pleasure meeting you all, and I look forward to our work together.
Thank you. And Tia and Alma, thank you so much for being a part of this. I know how busy you are. So, Jean-Michel, as we come up on one, any closing thoughts from you?
Yes, I just want to mention a partner on this program that we have not talked about yet, and it's the Community Partnership for the Prevention of Homelessness. And they handle the security, the food delivery, the housekeeping, among other things. And of course, they've been a wonderful partner to Friendship Place for many, many years in different ways. I want to thank you all for being online with us this afternoon. I want to thank you for your support. And also want to thank, of course, Shawna, Alma, and Tia for sharing and making the program really come to life for us this afternoon, and for all the hard work that went into opening Valley Place. It's a wonderful endeavor, and we're looking forward to working with you all at Friendship Place. So thank you so much for also showing the warmth and really, I think we all felt it this afternoon. You're great. Appreciate it.
Again, this was wonderful. And thank you everyone for being part of this call. We're starting now again in the new year, our every 3 weeks or so webinar. So look for your email. There'll be one coming up, I guess, a couple of weeks from now, beginning of February. So more details to come. We don't have it actually all scheduled yet, but we will get there. And it's just great to see everyone again come together and be part of our work. And so thank you. Everyone, please stay warm and have a good, safe, healthy rest of your week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.